Good afternoon. This is Larry Tentarelli with today's edition of Your Daily 5 for StockCharts.com. I've got with me today 5 charts of interest that I'll go through with you. So we'll start with a brief introduction. My website is bluechipdaily.com. You can find me on Twitter. My call sign is at LMT978. If you want to find me on my website, our address is bluechipdaily.com. You can go on and see some of our technical work, some recent technical alerts, and basically what the process is. So we'll get started today. I've got 5 charts. We're going to start with QQQ, NASDAQ 100 ETF. So I do have a long position in QQQ. And what I see on the chart is pretty clear right here. So it's in an intermediate term uptrend. We've got a few higher highs on the chart. We've got a few higher lows. So the recent major low was December 259. We've got a higher low in January. Then we've got a higher low in March. Another key thing that I look at, because I'm a trend follower, is I look at the moving averages. And what this shows is the trend on multiple time frames. So what we can see with QQQ is there's a rising 20-day, 50-day, 100-day, and very importantly, the 200-day moving average has started to turn up. QQQ recently broke out and it tested about an 8-month high at 321, consolidated right into the 20-day moving average, had a sharp bounce yesterday. So markets are still volatile and news-driven. It seems that almost every day we get a new data point, whether it's the CPI, PPI. Today we got inflation expectations. So markets could be choppy, but for my time frame, as long as QQQ holds over this rising 50-day moving average, then that keeps the intermediate term uptrend intact. But this is set up the best of all the major indices on my screen. And if QQQ can break out over 325, that could open up the chart for higher. But QQQ, one of my favorite charts on the screen right now. Number 2 is gold. I do have a position in GLD also. So I've got a different time frame chart here because I wanted to dial out to a much bigger picture view. So GLD, we can see currently where it's at, it's testing a breakout to new all-time highs. So 194, 193 are recent highs. But if we take a look at the monthly chart, we can see that GLD right now is testing a new monthly closing high. Now, obviously, there's another half of the month that's left. A lot of things can happen between now and the end of the month. But the key range that I see here, downside support 160, also downside support at 170. If this chart starts to break out over 195, then that would start to take it into new all-time highs territory, and it could open up the chart to further upside. So what I see outside of the chart is GLD has been a beneficiary recently of a move lower in bond yields. So the media has been focused on a recession for the past 12 months or so, some type of an economic slowdown. Very possible. And if that happens, gold should perform well. So the GLD chart, it's set up very well here. It can be volatile like most markets, but on any major pullbacks, I'd want to see that 170 to 172 level hold on the chart. Chart number 3, Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook. I do have a position here as well. So this is a longer time frame chart. This goes back 2 years. But what I see on the Meta chart is a few things. It's in a very strong uptrend, series of higher highs, series of higher lows. Once again, similar to QQQ, we've got 4 rising moving averages. The 200-day moving average has recently started to turn higher. The 100-day recently crossed the 200-day, improving with improving trend momentum. So if we take a look at the chart, we can see that this is building a very, very big base. And if we take a look just from early 2022, declined, it put in a rounding bottom base, and now it's been trending higher here. So what I see on the chart is if this continues higher, and keep in mind, they've got earnings coming up in the next few weeks, as well as all of the NASDAQ 100 majors. But if Meta continues to trend higher, once we get into about the 245 to 250 level, there's a pretty big open price gap, anywhere from 245 up to about 290 on the chart. So if this base continues to trend higher, if we get into that mid 240 neighborhood, there's not a lot of overhead resistance, and it could fill that gap. So obviously that could be some time out, but just when I take a look at the overall trend, it's in a recovery phase, and this base is setting up very well here. And then just next on the chart, really 230 to 240 are key overhead levels. Chart number 4 is Eli Lilly in the healthcare sector. I don't have a position here right now. It is on our top 25 stocks list on our members website, and it's a stock that I've got very high on my watch list. So what I see with Eli Lilly is a recovery move recently. So Eli Lilly was a very strong stock. It was one of the leading stocks in 2022. And then it started to turn down sharply. The healthcare sector rolled over as technology and some of the other higher beta stocks started to lead higher. So Eli Lilly's recently had about a 20% or so pullback, it looks like on the chart. But then we've got some recovery signs here. So the first recovery sign, close over the 200-day moving average. Second recovery sign, close over the 50-day moving average. And now if we look at the chart and these moving averages, there's a lot of bullish moving average crosses. So we've got the 20-day through the 50 through the 200-day. The 50-day is just getting ready to cross over the 200-day moving average, it looks like. And we can see these moving averages are all rising. So rising moving averages, very, very strong move off the lows. And Lilly basically had a V-shaped recovery from a sharp drawdown to a sharp recovery move higher. It's noteworthy that the healthcare sector overall has gotten a strong boost higher after we had the regional bank unwind in the middle of March. So there's been a clear rotation in the markets into healthcare stocks, which are considered to be more defensive. So where it is right now, for me, it's a little bit extended for a new buy point. So 77 daily RSI, it's a strong sign. It shows a lot of buying power that's moved into this stock. But for me, with a $355 billion market cap stock at a 77 daily RSI, that's generally extended for my time frame. It doesn't mean that the stock can't move higher because it's got a lot of momentum, but I have this on a watch list right now. And if there was any consolidation, 374, anything over the 360, 355 area, any type of consolidation in here would move this higher up my list. But there's good upside volume coming in, very strong. There's quite a few healthcare charts that I've got high on the watch list. Eli Lilly is one of them, but we'll see if there's any type of consolidation that could offer a good pullback buy point. And then the last chart today is in the energy sector. I wanted to be sure that we covered quite a few diverse sectors because not everybody has the same focus. Marathon Petroleum, $58 billion market cap. It's been our top ranked energy sector chart for the past few months now. So the key thing with Marathon Petroleum is if we look at this uptrend, the 100-day moving average has held as price support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times over the past 7 months or so. So this has been one of the very few large cap energy stocks that did not recently break down below the 200-day moving average. Even ExxonMobil, which is very strong, closed below the 200-day recently, but Marathon Petroleum hasn't even broken below the 100-day. It's got a longer-term uptrend that's intact. It's set up well here. So a key level to watch, crude oil right now, and I don't have the crude oil chart on the screen, but WTI crude oil is right beneath the 200-day moving average right now, around $82 and change. If crude oil can close above $84 to $85, it could break out that crude oil chart to the upside. And if we see that, then I would expect that the energy sector could also move to the upside. But even as crude oil corrected over the past 8 months or so, Marathon has been one of the few energy stocks to maintain a longer term uptrend. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed the content, and we look forward to seeing you online soon.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.